What's up, YouTube? Rhino Dynamite here, and welcome to my very first model train review, where I just review a model and not a set. Today we're going to look at this model, the Baldwin Locomotive Works number 26, and I gotta tell you, in my opinion, this is a beautiful model. Number 26 was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in March 1929. Painted in Baldwin's standard olive green with aluminum trim and lettering livery. Most steam engines in this country are painted black. But to be honest, I think any color would suit them. And this green color is very beautiful in my opinion. At the end of World War II, the engine was purchased by the Jackson Iron and Steel Company of Jackson, Ohio in 1948. While working there, its career was unknown, but its career is known to have lasted for a long time for any steam locomotive in revenue service before it was retired in 1979. That same year, the engine was purchased by Jerry Jacobson, who saved the engine from being scrapped. Good thing, too. In 1983, he had the engine moved from Jackson, first to Grand Rapids, Ohio, then to the Mad River and NKP Railroad Museum in Bellevue, Ohio, where it was painted as Nickel Plate Road 17. And 3 years later, Jacobson traded the switcher with the Steamtown Foundation of Scranton, Pennsylvania for their Canadian National number 1551. Later that same year, Steamtown was taken over by the National Park Service, becoming Steamtown National Historic Site. The engine arrived at Scranton in January 1990 and was renumbered back to Baldwin Locomotive Works 26. They had it restored to steam in summer of 1999. It frequently hauled passengers between the temporary visitor center and the former Delaware, Lackawanna and Western Railroad Roundhouse and Turntable Complex, then undergoing renovations to become the permanent visitor center of the museum and the locomotive storage facility. The engine also cut the ribbon laid across the yard tracks during the official opening ceremony of the museum. Pretty soon the engine was done with service a few years later, and then restored in 1999. After working for many years, the engine was withdrawn for a rebuild. In late 2015, the engine's overhaul was completed. After return to service, 26 resumed the position as the power on the Scranton Limited, pulling passenger services around the place. To be honest, even though this is an 060 switcher, this engine has a wonderful history. Now, what do you say we get a closer look? By the way, this is a DCC-equipped engine, but I don't have a DCC controller at the time. There's the headlamp. Which, of course, when the engine starts, it turns on. It turns on before the engine starts moving when you turn the controller. And you can see there's its number, 26. Very fine detailing, I might say. There's the front coupler. There's the cylinders with the white trimming. That's what I think of it as white. There's the steam dome and sand domes. They have the trimming. There's the bell, the whistle, and the safety valve, and an air pump. All that pipe detail on the boiler and a handrail. This is an 060 engine. Very nice piston rods. Very realistic movement too when it runs. There's the firebox. Number 26. In fact, I turned 26 this past January. Here's the tender, the Baldwin Locomotive works. Nice detailed tender. Let's have a much closer look. There's the coal. There's the water filling cap and a handrail and the steps for walking up the sloped tender. That's what kind of tender this is. The reason the tender is sloped is because it made the engineer easier to spot the man who couples the cars up to the back of the engine. Well, he doesn't really couple them, he just attaches all the pipe work for the brakes. Let's have a closer look in the cab. As you'll see, there is a switch, because this model can blow smoke if you add smoke fluid, and that switch is what turns the smoke unit off and on. And I leave it off because, well, I don't want to do smoke, because it can lead to trouble, I heard. And it can be smelly, and that's no good. Overall, I think this model has great details. I hope someday I can travel to Scranton and see this real engine in person. Now, with done reviewing the model, what do you say we take her for a spin? Let's go. What did you all think of that? I thought that while the model was running, the side rods looked very realistic. Well, I've always wanted this model, and I'm glad I finally got it. I hope you all enjoyed watching this review and it in action. I hope someday I can go to Scranton and see this engine in person. For now, thank you very much for watching my very first single model review video. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I had making this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time until I do another train set or maybe even another single model review. Thank you all very much for watching. Rhino Dynamite out.